Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Oklahoma Esports League. Today we are going to be playing another fantastic game of League of Legends. I am Amnesia, joined here by Spirit this time. How are you doing?
I am good. What is up, guys? I'm excited because Jenks is my alma mater, so I think this will be a really fun game, especially against our biggest rival, Union.
Yeah, maybe a little bias coming out in this one, but we'll have to see how this game goes. Both Jenks and Union 1-0, so they will be fighting for that 2-0 slot. The other will go 1-1, and we do have picks and bans finished already. We will be going back into game soon, but for the Jenks side, we have Darius, Diana, Yasuo, Kaisa, and Tom Kench, and for the Union side, we got the Set, Viego, Talon, Caitlyn, and Yumi. So we'll have to see how those picks fare against each other. One thing to note, 9 AD champions, only 1 AP champ in this game on Diana. So how do you think that's going to go?
I think it'll depend, but I think this Darius Tom Kench can be pretty strong against the 4 ADs, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and of course, you know, a lot of itemization that can be done, so probably a lot of plated steel caps, especially with that item being pretty good. And with the new season now coming out, we're going to have to see how these teams play around that. Of course, with the new season comes the feats of strength. We explained it a little bit last time, but for the people who don't know, there are 3 markers for feats of strength. You need 2 of the 3 to be able to get those upgraded boots. One of them being the first 3 picks of the game, the second one being the first tower that is taken, and the third being the first team to get 3 major objectives, being Drake and Void objective. But now we're going to go ahead and get into game here. Looks like this Viego's going to be starting top. Take this red buff first and then work their way down. Maybe get a bot lane gank first. The Diana going to do a classic clear starting from bot lane. The Kench looking maybe for, I guess, just a cheeky ward. Going to go ahead and back up there. The Darius looking for something here. Darius, of course, one of the strongest level 1 champs in the game. Might actually be able to get an early pick on this Viego here, especially with Set being so far away. Going to have to use the flash, but the Darius uses flash too and takes an early first blood. Nice for the Darius there. Does have to use both summoner spells, but I think that is worth it. Only 2 more needed for that first feats of strength.
Yeah, and we definitely, that was definitely worth for the Darius, as we see the Viego also had to flash. He's going to be behind on his clearing as well. But looking at the sums here, we see both ADCs bringing barrier. Pretty interesting choice, but I think it'll be a great matchup bot.
And a very early take on this fight in bot lane as well. The Kaisa Kench just holding in that bush. Maybe looking for the pick, but doesn't quite get there. The Kench getting really low, taking a couple tower shots, but the ADC being very low as well. An unfortunate part of Yumi's playstyle is going to be the fact that they have to sit on top of the ADC. So your ADC ends up taking the brunt of the force. No matter what you want to do here. The Yasuo going to go a little bit early on this Talon. The Talon doing quite a bit of damage. The Ignite going to come out from both of them, both getting pretty low. The Yasuo going to take an early lead on this CS as well. The Set getting a little bit behind in CS on top. Darius, again, probably the strongest level 1 top laner in the game, especially getting that first pick on the Viego is going to prove a little rough for Set to come back in this one. But Set, a big scaling top laner as well. I think on this right side team comp, it is a bit of a higher scaling team comp, so they might be able to look for the later game domination. But we'll have to see how this plays out. Both mid laners, 13 CS right now. Bot lane CS, pretty even as well. Honestly, Viego catching up not too slow on this clear here, getting pretty close to Diana, maybe looking for this bot scuttle and then taking some sort of bot lane gank, especially with Jenks being so pushed up as they are. The Viego could make something happen, but Von Krad up here, the top laner, is going to be taken out again. This Darius going crazy in this top lane so early in this game. especially if they can get fed, get a couple more kills under their belt, get some more CS, and maybe take this first tower, especially if their team can take feats of strength, then they'll certainly be in a good spot for the rest of this game.
Yeah, seeing Darius already get 2 kills, if he can continue to push his lead like that, I think that'll be really, really beneficial for the team, especially, yeah, with the feats of strength, as Amnesia said. I think that'll be really, really good for them.
Yeah, for sure. And now Void Grubs coming up in 2 minutes. The Dragon coming up in 1. Going to see what the junglers on either side want to do here. A gank does come out in mid from Magic on the Diana. Doesn't quite get the kill on the Talon there, but does get a lot of damage done. This Yasuo going to be able to push up. The CS difference starting to push forward, but unfortunately this top lane matchup is going to be a little rough for Union to try to come back from. Darius trying to get some poke on this tower. Viego trying to make something happen. Does end up using the exhaust. We do see a fight come down in River here. A big collapse onto the Viego there, and the jungler is down. And with the Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, it looks like it might just be a Jinx first Dragon take. This Darius also proxying the Viego a little bit here, trying to take first tower as fast as possible. Gets him pretty low, but just with this bleed and being up 2 picks, it's gonna be a third, and that will be the first feat of strength. The feat of warfare will be taken by Jinx. All 3 of them being taken by the Darius, and now it's just up to first tower or first 3 objectives. Darius already making a great headway in this top lane right now for that first turret, as well as making some great strides towards these objectives. Clearing up the Dragon, but Viego is going to be able to get back. Dragon not being contested right now. We're going to have to see if they decide to take this, and if this bot lane is going to decide to push in a little bit.
Yes, and the Dragon up the Ocean Drag will be really good for either team, obviously, as we can see. And sums are looking okay on both sides, but it looks like Jinx has a little bit more sums up versus Union here. So we'll see for this drag fight, if there is one, or if one team will just give to the other.
Yeah, and right now, the Diana not having that smite up, but of course, Union not quite aware of that, isn't going to be looking for this Drake here. Maybe looking for Void Grubs. Another 15 seconds left before these Grubs spawn. The Darius being pushed back just a little bit, but I think that is fine for them. The set just not able to push up too much. If they are forced into this 1v1, I think Darius is just going to be able to kind of shove through. The CS difference going to prove a little rough for Union, but definitely can make some pushback, especially, again, Darius does fall off a little bit later. And in those team fights, Set is going to be able to make some headway as well, especially if they can get a big W off. The Void Grub's going to be started. One does get taken here for Jinx. Magic looking for another, but it is stolen by Union. The Darius going to walk down. Mort able to flash out of that, keeps themselves alive, looking to continue the fight, goes on the Diana. Talon is going to be able to get the pick. Darius going to get the trade onto the Viego there. The Talon just looking to live right now, but the bleed and slow from the Darius, so much damage coming out. The bleed is going to finish him off. That is a double kill for the Darius, and looking for the third on the set here, tries to keep themselves alive, but just isn't able to, and Darius with the triple kill, going 6-0 in this top lane right now. And the other Void Grub is going to be taken by Union. The Yasuo for Jinx going to clear out this second one. So it will be 2-1. And of course, the way the feats of strength work is you have to take all 3 Void Grubs on the objective for it to count. So unfortunately, no tick on that feat of strength for Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx having such a really strong turn there against them. It looked good for Union, but then Jinx somehow came back. That Darius doing so much damage that fight. We saw his bleed, the fadeaway kill. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I think what you're looking for right now if you're Union is to try to get as many objectives as you can. Not necessarily try to play for this top lane. I think the Darius is just a little too strong right now for them to be able to try to push into. I think you find where the Darius is and go where he isn't and try to push your lead in bot lane, especially with bot lane keeping up in CS pretty well. And no picks granted for the Kaisa Kench here. And of course, Kench being very scaly, probably looking to build that Heartsteel and build up as much health as possible. But Jinx doing a good job right now of keeping the CS lead in their favor in bot lane right now and making some headway. Maybe the Viego Mort here going to be looking, but a gank comes out in mid, but isn't really needed. The Talon just able to get the pick before Magic can get there. A lot of damage on the Talon. The Viego comes in for the counter gank, is going to be looking for this kill on the Diana. but is unfortunately going to be able to get out. Just not a lot that they can do, especially with the Viego not quite being level 6 just yet. No R online.
Yeah, Talon had a great getaway there, just jumping over the wall and flashing to get out of that before he died. So that was a great solo kill onto that Yasuo.
Yeah, now again, if you're Union, you're down almost 4K gold here. Actually, a little over 4K gold. Just going to have to try to press their gold lead anywhere they can. Try to shut down this Jinx attack, especially if they can get a shutdown on this Darius. Tahm Kench going to go in on this Caitlyn. Yuumi here, try to make something happen, but Caitlyn with that net able to get out. A lot of damage comes out from this Darius. The set not even safe under this tower. 7-0 lead here for this Darius in top lane. Talon, Yasuo fighting in mid as well. The ultimate comes out there from the Yasuo. Does a lot of damage onto this Talon. The Talon going to make a nice burst damage, and they both actually trade each other. The ignites come out from the Yasuo, and the bleed from Talon going to finish off the Yasuo. Both of them going down, each getting 300 gold themselves, and the first tower going to be taken, and that will be the feats of strength for Jinx. Those boots now going to be upgraded, looking to take those tier 3s. And if I were Union right here, my sights would be set on these objectives. The first Ocean Drake still not taken just yet, and that Otacon, so important. Looks like it probably will end up being Voracious Otacon as well. Of course, 2 different types of Otacons can spawn, Ruinous and Voracious. The more kills that happen, if you cross a certain threshold, Voracious will spawn, giving them a free resurrection in their base as well as additional gold per kill. And if it's Ruinous Otacon, it just gives additional jungle bounties. This Talon going to go in on this bot lane, tries to get a pick. A bunch of burst damage comes out from the Talon. That's an assassin for you, is able to do so much damage onto that Kai'Sa and get a pick. Right now, 4 and 3 on Talon, getting a lot of headway for Union back into this game. Union also looking to take this dragon here. And the Viego is going to clear that up. The Diana looking for a steal, doing a lot of damage as well, but just not enough. The Darius looking in top lane as well for another pick on Vonkrad. The bleed not quite finishing him off, just trying to get out, and does manage to live there. But that is a nice headway there for Union. Able to take that Drake and get that pick on the Diana. The Talon probably going to be the win condition for Union here, having all 5 kills in their favor. Still a little under 5K gold behind, just looking for as many objectives and shutdowns as they can. And the name of the game is just don't die.
Yeah, and we see these first items being built here. We got the Darius with the Shojin. We have Yasuo with the feats of strength boots actually over here. And then we also see the Talon with the Eclipse.
Yeah, definitely ahead on these builds here. Already looking for their second item on this Darius, and especially with this top lane push, just doing a lot. The Diana on Void Grubs right now, looking to try to clear out this last objective. Able to get a nice steal on the Void Grub. The Viego does manage to take one out, but unfortunately in this 1v2 is just going to be taken out there, just a little bit behind. The Darius does end up getting the tier 2 turret in this top lane and just doing so much damage to the set. It feels like nobody can take this Darius down. Is 8-0. 550 gold bounty. This Talon able to live here. The Diana looking for it and gets a nice Q there onto that Talon and a shutdown for Jinx. Some more gold in the favor of Jinx, and look at that gold ratio between the teams right now.
Yeah, for sure. We see how these Void Grubs are definitely helping that push top side. It seems like this Darius being really uncontested, the set trying to, but dying. It's hard.
Yeah, and Viego can't even really look for a gank here because both of them are behind and would just probably end up in a double kill for this Darius. So I think they are just looking for as much bot lane pressure as they can, but they are just so behind. I think the name of the game right now is objectives, and especially this Otacon that is coming up in 7 minutes. But about 3 minutes away from this Hextech Drake as well, might be able to push them forward into a bit more of a lead. Of course, Union still having the Dragon, tries to go for a gank on this Darius, is actually doing quite a bit of damage here, but just that Darius having so much sustain gets a nice Q onto the set there, and a double kill, does about half of their health bar, and is able to clean that one up in the bot lane. for Jinx, making so much pressure as well. This split push from this Darius, just putting in so much work. If you're Union, I don't know how much more you can do to try to bring this back. I think you just have to keep yourselves alive. Tries to go for the tower dive. The Kinch having enough HP to try to live through this. Looks to get the kill on the Kaisa. Goes into the bush, doesn't have a ward in there, and is going to find it. The Yumi Q is going to clean it up. The Diana coming in for the counter gank. So much damage. The Diana, that burst AP assassin, going to do so much damage, is able to clean up that Caitlyn. Isn't quite able to clean up the Yumi. Maybe look to go ahead and finish off this tower here. Tries to look for the Yumi instead. Does get the Q, and the dash reset will come out. Is able to take out the Yumi. A double kill here for the Diana. The Viego looking to try to clean it up, doing a decent amount of damage, but I think the burst on Diana is just going to be too much. Neither of them quite finishing off each other. A nice two-person gank going to happen there. Talon able to shut down the Yasuo there. The Talon looking to be the biggest force to be able to bring this Union team back. Diana looking for this Viego still. Doesn't quite want to give it up. But right now, Union just having so much they have to do to try to bring this game back. The Dragon coming up in another minute. I think that is what they're going to be looking for. And the Darius just taking so much pressure in these lanes, doing so much tower damage as well with how ahead they are. The Tahm Kench going to go in on this Viego. The Kaisa looking for the pick here, tries to get themselves out. Isn't quite able to clean it up. The Viego manages to get out there. The Caitlyn doing a little bit of poke damage. No picks happening yet, and this Darius putting out so much pressure in this mid is going to take this tier 2 mid turret. Finds the pull on the Talon. Talon able to go over this wall, but the slow from the bleed. And does end up cleaning it up. The bleed from the Darius just proving to do so much damage there. The tier 2 turret for top and mid being taken. Looking for the tier 2 in this top lane as well. The tier 3 for mid being taken. This Darius just pressing the attack right now. Gets another pick there onto the Viego, looking for the inhibitor. Seems to be unstoppable. Union probably going to have to back here soon to try to clear out this Darius if they can, especially if this Caitlyn can get the shutdown here. That's 1,000 gold in their pocket to start getting your ADC more ahead. The pull onto the set with the ult. The Diana able to one-shot the Caitlyn in the backline there. With the Darius coming in is able to clean up the set as well. Talon does get a pick there, looking for the shutdown on the Darius, but so much sustain. This Darius is just unstoppable, looking for the triple, looking for the quadra. The ace will be cleaned up by the Kaisa, and I think that will just be game for Jinx.
The Darius just pushing his lead ahead over and over and over again, buying the hull breaker, being unstoppable.
Yeah, you know, Darius with that hull breaker, just looking to try to split push as much as they can. And 16 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Only one Drake taken. Rift Herald being spawned. Not even a Baron yet. Otacon still had 3 minutes off. What a quick game. Darius just pushing the lead that they had. A whole first blood being taken within less than a minute into the game.
Yeah, and, you know, we saw Viego trying to, had those great steals, and we saw the Talon doing great, but it just unfortunately wasn't enough. We also had that Diana collapsing really well, being all over the map at the same time, supporting that Darius while he's split pushing. It was just overall really good plays by Jinx.
Yeah, definitely an MVP on the Darius for that game. But thank you guys so much for watching, and congratulations to Jinx for taking your 2-0 lead, and we will see you guys next time.